Hello and welcome to Judy's Creations in Crochet. And today is September the 8th, 2022. I want to start by welcoming some of my new subscribers, and I just want to give you a little information about my channel for those that are new here. This channel, as you can tell, is all about crochet. I like to focus mostly on finished objects, although sometimes I do show whips. I never have a lot of whips at one time. And I also um, show a lot of yarn, but the yarn that I show is usually hand-dyed yarn, upper end yarns, not yarns that you can get in the big box stores, because lots of people show those, and of course you're very familiar with those. But I have made it my mission to find as many different hand dyers as I can and showcase the yarn that we can get from them. And I've been this month, you'll see I'm doing some different things, because I should have said right off the bat, welcome to week 2 of celebrations. September is my Podiversary month and my birthday, so we're making it a month of celebrations and lots of different things going on here. Now, I originally told you, excuse me, I originally told you I'd be doing a giveaway every week, which I will. And I've tried to have a few different ideas for things to do during the month. And I also mentioned that because my birthday was on a Thursday last year and my first show was on Thursday, and I always broadcast on Thursday, I said that this year I would do an extra one on my birthday on Friday, September the 23rd. I would do a live show with you. Well, I'm really sorry to report that I am unable to do a live show. It seems that YouTube has some rules, and the first one is that you have to have 1,000 subscribers to do a live on a mobile device. And as you know, I come to you every week using my iPad. I don't have an iPhone. I use my iPad, and the only way I could do a live, not having 1,000 subscribers, I'm not at 500 yet, we'll talk about that in a minute, would be on my laptop. Well, I did go to my laptop to see if I could make that work, and I'm not very technical when it comes to all of these different devices, and I couldn't seem to get from my personal channel to my crochet channel in order to do the live. So I decided, you know what, we can live without a live this year. Hopefully by next year we'll be up to 1,000, and it will be on a Saturday, which is easier to find a time that people can join us. And I don't have that many subscribers, so I thought, okay, we'll just let the live go. I also had hoped to make 500 subscribers this month, and it doesn't look like I'm going to get there. I'm a little over 430, and that's okay, because if it's another month or so before we get to 500, that's fine. And when I do get to 500, I'm actually going to do a box of yarn, and it's going to be mystery of what's in it, but it'll be a nice size box of nice yarn. So enough of all of the business end of things. Let's talk about what's happening today. So as you recall, for those that have been here, and I certainly appreciate all of my loyal subscribers. Some have been with me from almost the very beginning. Last week, I did a whole show on jewelry. So once more, I'll show you some of my jewelry. Here is a unique piece. Again, it is what I explained to you is called tack fusing. Those thin pieces that I could purchase, I laid a bunch of them out, partially fused, and then I have a pair of earrings to match. Kind of different than the usual full fused, which is the most common. And people seem to really enjoy that video. And everybody that made comments encouraged me and said, yes, put it on your Facebook page. So when I get a little bit of time, I will sit down and take a bunch of pictures. That's the time consuming part, and get it all uploaded to a section on my Facebook page. I'll let you know when they're available. Now, today, I'm sitting off center on purpose because I have a lot of pictures to show you. So I'll be putting them up in this area. Because I showed you some of the crafts that I do other than crochet, I encouraged you, my viewers, to send me pictures of crafts that you do. And I was really pleased with the response. Quite a few came in this past week. And those that sent them, in most cases, they didn't just send me one, they sent me lots of pictures, which I'm very pleased about. So I don't know how long this is going to take. I have lots of pictures to show you, and I'll be putting them up here. But I thought I would start and end with a few items that I do outside of crochet. I was going to say cross stitch, which was my main thing at one time, but now it's crochet. I have shown you lots of cross stitch I did. Last week I showed you lots of jewelry. In the past, I showed you some of my ceramics. When I was doing cross stitch, I also did a little bit of needlepoint. So I brought along a couple pictures of needlepoint. Here is the first one, which has a variety of needlepoint stitches. I'll bring it close and you can see there are long stitches. And then in here and the house, you see what they call the continental stitches, more long stitches. And then here is, I think they call it something like a basket weave stitch. And then over stitching and lots of different stitches and French knots in the trees. So that's one needlepoint I did. And a second one I did, I may have to back up for this one, all continental stitch. This was a kit. The frame was made by my husband, and that's a good size. You can tell by how big it is next to my head. This is a good size picture. And there's a fly or something darting around here. Anyway, I did do a little needlepoint, but never very much. And in recent years, I actually ventured into the wood shop. So I'm going to put a picture right here of a couple of things I made in the wood shop. But I found it a little bit frustrating, and I wasn't that good. I was breaking the saw blades quite a bit. This was using a bandsaw to cut these out. And I decided that it really wasn't for me, although I had always wanted to do something in woodworking. Okay, so as you know, today's episode is all about things that you do. So I will give you the people's names. They didn't always tell me if there was a pattern or what they used, and that's okay because there's a variety of crafts and they don't always have patterns or whatever. So, but I will tell you the name of the person, and if I know where they live, I'll tell you that as well. So I'm going to start with Debbie. Debbie is from Arizona, and she's a long-time loyal viewer of mine. And you can see that besides crocheting, she also knits. So here are two different views of a knitted shawl that she's made. Lovely work, Debbie. I still wish I could knit, and maybe, you know my story, maybe one day I'll try the new circular needles. Next, I have a brand new subscriber, Faith. I don't know where Faith is from. We've only had one or two messages, but she wanted to send me something. So first we're going to see a knitted square she has done. I don't know if it's going to be part of a project. It looks to me like there might be two piled there. And then second of all, she sent me, I'd say, a card, and it looks like she's done some stamping on this card. Next, we have Bonnie, and you've seen some work from Bonnie before. Bonnie is a local friend of mine. And first, we're going to see a needlepoint pillow. And I know that she has more than one needlepoint pillows in her living room because I saw two or three. And next, we're going to see a watercolor. And Bonnie has done many, many watercolors. In fact, having been in her home, I know her walls are full of many great watercolor pictures. But this is one example. I guess it was her favorite because she sent it to me. Now we have Lisa. And Lisa is a fairly new subscriber as well. She's also known as Dragon Bee Crochet. I believe she must have a YouTube channel. She says she likes to paint anything. So what we're going to see here is some different things she's painted. One is an old chair that she cut the bottom of to put a plant in and made a plant holder. She has also planted a cane for herself and a cane for her mother. And I believe there is one more painted item, and I don't have it in my notes. Nope, I don't have it in my notes, but she says she will paint anything. Then she also likes to draw, and most of these, all of the ones at the beginning, are done with a fine tip marker. I'll show you them as I'm talking. I'll bring them all up. There are several of them. And she's trying to, I think, put together a coloring book, but she says it takes a bit of money to get published. And besides the pen and ink drawings, she also, and by the way, there was one that was a lady with a dragon, and that is her logo. And she also has one, see this one at the end, very beautiful, intricate face that was done in pencil. Great, great drawing. I can't draw a straight line even with a ruler usually. So very nice work, Lisa. Then we check in with Anvita. And Anvita is always quick to send me pictures whenever I need them. And Anvita lives in India. She won one of my prizes a while back, and she does a fair bit of knitting. I'm wondering if knitting is her predominant craft rather than crochet, but she does both. And so we're going to start with, she has names for some of these. The first shawl is a very lacy shawl, and I don't know that I have a name for that one. And I think I have two views of it. And then we have a little amigurumi kitten, kind of cute. Oh, the lacy shawl was called, I believe, the Bantam. And next we have another shawl, this red, I don't know if it's a shawl or a wrap. Looks like it's more rectangular. A toile is what it's called. And then we have an asymmetrical triangle, and you'll see it here in two different colors, and it's called Trial and Balance. I really like the first one, the pink with a little bit of other colors in it. And then we come to another shawl, and it's called Crest of a Wave. And Her next shawl, I think it's a short form for something, TIABFULL. Not too sure what name that has, but another lovely shawl. And then we get two views of the next shawl, which is called Japanese Waves. I might be going a bit too fast here to give you good views of these pictures. And the final thing she sent me was a floor rug. Very colorful. So thank you, Anvita, for all of those. Again, I admire those of you that can knit. There are so many beautiful shawl patterns out there I wish I could do. Next we come to Carrie. Carrie lives here in Ontario. It's amazing to me how many viewers I have from Ontario and Canada. And she first wanted to show me some stitch markers. I'll show them while I'm talking. These stitch markers were made by her son, who is 11 years old. And he was quite proud of his stitch markers, so Mom sent them for me to show. And they are quite a number of cute little stitch markers. And in fact, there's two in each case. So I didn't look closely, but I think they maybe could be worn as earrings, could they? And then Carrie, besides being a crocheter, is very much into diamond painting. So the first one we see, I can't quite explain what it is. It looks like a person overlooking something. It looks kind of sinister to me. And then she has a cat, which of course I think is adorable. And the next one is an owl. And then we have a couple. That has a lot of shading in it, so it must have been very difficult to keep the colors separate. And then finally, we have a bunny. And Carrie raises bunnies, so I'm not surprised to see that she did some diamond painting in a bunny as well. I have one to do myself, haven't got to it yet, but I just never seem to have the time. But one day I will do that diamond painting and show you. I won it as a gift from Reggie. Next, we're moving on to Judy. No, not me, another Judy. And Judy also, I discovered, lives in Ontario. And Judy and her daughter are into what's called paint pouring. So you pour the paint on the canvas, and this is what you get. So she sent me one, and here are two views of the same picture, standing back a bit. And then she said she had another one in her office, so she went in yesterday at the first of the week after the long weekend and took a picture of this second poured painted picture. Quite interesting, the results you get when you do something like that. So many different crafts you people have, so many different talents. Yes, and I thought I had tried them all. I certainly haven't. Sorry for that. I made a mistake and had to retake part of it. The next collection of pictures come from my sister-in-law, Diane, who also lives in Ontario, down in the Windsor area. So we're first going to see some examples of rug hooking that she has done. You see the rug on the floor, and then three matching pillows that go with this rug. I don't see it while I'm showing you, so I have to have notes to remember. On the table, I believe you see a gingerbread house, and if I'm not mistaken, Diane made that as well, and it's out of plastic canvas. And we're going to see more of her plastic canvas in a minute. Next, we see another hooked rug, and that's done in her favorite colors. Now to continue on with the plastic canvas. You see here a village. I think I have two pictures of plastic canvas here. Oh, yes, I do. One with the placemats and then one with the village. And you're going to see another village a little later on. But Diane said to me, and I know she has done many, many plastic canvas projects, but a lot of them are Christmas ornaments and decorations. And since my brother and her spend half of the year in Florida, especially Christmas time, all of her plastic canvas decorations are down there. Next, I'm going to show you a macrame tree. Big, large macrame project. And if I recall correctly, it's three-dimensional. And underneath, you see a bit of another village. And finally, we have to come to the guest in their house, the goose. The goose is in their living room and it has an outfit for every special season, every special holiday. It has a bigger wardrobe than most you and I do. And this first one, this is one that Diane made. A lot of the wardrobe has been purchased, but she made this one and this last one to have this patriotic goose. And finally, she has done cross stitching as well. And how can you be in my family and not have given a try to cross stitch? So the first one, a cute little mouse. And then we move on to, it's a bit blurry, the picture, but I'm sure you can see that it is the 4 favorite food groups that we're all familiar with and I'm sure we all agree with. And her last project in cross stitch that she sent me is the sampler, the burst sampler, and that's for our oldest niece. And I do know there is another cross stitch in the house somewhere. I've been waiting and waiting to see it get finished. What's happening, Diane? Maybe one day she'll surprise me. Then we're going to see an example of quilt magic. And she has a couple of items here. I've done some quilt magic, and this picture right here is an example of quilt magic, where you get a board with a little bit of foam on it, and a picture is cut out, and then you get fabric to cut out, you get pattern pieces to cut them out, and then you tuck them into the grooves in the foam to make it look quilted, but it really isn't. There is no needle and thread involved. Next, we're going to move on to my friend Rose. And Rose crochets with me and got into crocheting because we were donating to some charities. And she still does that. She does a lot of crocheting for charities. But before that, like me, she was a cross stitcher. So I got her to send me some of her wall of cross stitch. First of all, on one wall, she has this Celtic knot. Now, this Celtic knot is quite sizable. I don't know exactly, but I would guess it might be 18 inches square. And she loves Celtic things and has quite a few Celtic knots stitched in her home. Then we get to her wall of animals. And the first one you see here is a bell pull of a rainforest. A lot of detail in that picture. And next, we're going to see 2 pictures. One is her big cats. That was stitched when she still only knew about Ada, but has since moved on to even weaves. And beside it, we see the wolf. Beautiful colors in that wolf. And I believe the background, which is the Northern Lights, was done with metallic or blending filaments. The next picture is 3 on it. First we have the elephant, and I think the dolphins is one of her favorites. She lived on a sailboat in the Caribbean for 6 years, and she said this dolphin looks so realistic to her. And finally, the horse, and I just love this horse and how realistic it looks. When she was cross-stitching it, we neither one of us believed it would look like this. It had so many sort of blues and aquas in it, but oh, the shading is gorgeous. Now, you may think that she just does animals, but I'm here to tell you she doesn't just do animals, but these are the ones on her wall currently. And I actually have a picture she has cross-stitched, so I'm going to put it in here. One of the lovely ladies that she's cross-stitched, and this lady is on a hand-dyed fabric in the background, and I know she has done some other ones just as lovely. So that is Rose's cross stitch. And we're going to end up with Cindy. Now, Cindy has a unique story, which I won't tell it all, but she did live in London, Ontario, which is just, an hour to an hour and a half up the road from me. But just over a year ago, she moved to the beautiful Costa Rica, and that's where she lives now. And she's also a faithful follower. And so I have here a couple pictures of some watercolor and stamping she has done in making cards. So she was into card making and watercolors and so on. So I have two pictures of a collection of ones that she happened to take with her, thank goodness, so that she could send me some pictures. And now I'm going to finish up with one of my other areas that I've gotten into, and that is stained glass. The stained glass led into my jewelry making. So I'm going to show you, I don't know if it's 3 or 4 different stained glass, sort of like snowflakes. One year in the fall, I got busy and I made all my friends and family snowflakes, stained glass snowflakes for Christmas. So you see a few. I tried to pick their favorite colors. So friends and family got snowflakes. Rose happened to get, what do you think? A rose for Christmas, and hers hangs on the patio door. And then finally, I have my two oldest nieces were into competitive dancing right from the time they were very young. They were both very, very big in dancing. So I couldn't resist. I had to make these two slightly different. They couldn't have the same exact picture, but I made these two ballet slipper stained glass items for them. And I'm telling you, there's a piece in there at the toe of the foot that curves around like this. It's very hard to do curved edges in stained glass. And when you're going around and breaking the glass, it shatters. And the one that full faces you, I think I did that curved toe piece 4 times, every time it shattered. But I think on the 4th time, I finally got it. So I had them all tacked on a board. I was doing this at somebody else's house who had the equipment. And I brought it home because you wrap it in foil. And I brought it home to do the work of putting the foil on it and pressing it down before I took it back to solder it. Get out of my car with the board, and what happens? Onto the cement, and some of the pieces shattered, not all of them, but that toe piece shattered. And I had to go back to the drawing board and make it again. She doesn't know how much went into that piece for her for Christmas. So that was my adventure in stained glass, and it pretty well was the end of stained glass for me. So that is all of the talents that my viewers have. And I was very, very pleased to see all of these pictures. I appreciate that you sent them to me. Maybe another time we can do some more. We'll see. In the meantime, though, I'm still waiting for a few more crocheted fall items, because as you know, in 2 weeks' time, it will be September the 22nd, and I have to do my fall yarny YouTube video. And so far, I think I have two, maybe three projects from viewers that I can show. And I am currently working on my second item for that video, which I will have done in plenty of time. So, what comes next? Well, I think you're all waiting anxiously to hear about the winner of last week's draw. Now, I'm going to show you the box and you'll get a little peek at the other things that are in it. There are quite a few things in there. That was the yarn last week, which was 100% organic cotton. And the winner is Verna. Here's a picture of it. And congratulations, Verna. Verna is a very regular watcher of my videos. And I'm not really sure, but Verna, do you live in Canada somewhere? I don't know if it's ever come up. But anyway, Verna, what you need to do is send me an email. My email address is in the description box below, judyscreations21@gmail.com. And send me an email with your mailing address. And as soon as I get that, I'll package this up and get it in the post office, hopefully before the end of the week. And I wanted to show you one bit of yarn that I got. I've had it for several weeks, and then I'll show you the prize for this week. A few weeks, a month or more back, I got yarn from a company called Crafty That Way. And I loved this package of minis. And so I ordered them. They all go together in one package. And they are 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon. And they are, they are each 92 yards, 5 mini skeins, total of 460 yards, the equivalent of a hank of yarn. And I love the colors, and I'll mention that again. And I also got 3 yarn cozies. Here are 2 of them. The other one I'm using right now upstairs has cat eyes on it. But I love them so much that I ordered a second set, because I'm thinking I'm going to put the 2 together and make something a little bit larger. Maybe a wrap, maybe a shawl. I would have enough for a shawl with these 2, doing a gradient, or an asymmetrical wrap. I think a shawl. I think I may put them in a shawl. But when I was ordering them, I have a project in mind for next year that you'll find out about later. And these colors were perfect for it. They are the same material, and they're soft. I mean, they're the softest, but they do feel nice. And they are double the size. I actually ordered 1 set. I ordered it twice, and when I was ordering 2, she said, do you have to have them in small ones, or can I leave it in big ones? I said, no, you can leave it in big ones. These are all twice the size of those little ones you just saw. So that's from Crafty That Way. And I was quite happy with her service. I'm happy with the quality of the yarn. And I will link her. I believe she is on Etsy. I believe she has her own website, but I think she's on Etsy as well. I'm positive I ordered these on Etsy. I will put links below to where you can get her yarn, or if you want yarn cozies. So that's all that I'm going to show you in acquisitions this week. So now for this week's giveaway. And here is this week's giveaway. This is a project bag. It is a quite substantial one, and it has a flat bottom, box bottom, so it will stand up. And I would say this is at least 12 inches, a foot wide. 12 inches is 30 centimeters. a good size box bottom and a good width. You could put several cakes or skeins of yarn in this, or one or two cakes and your project. And I specially asked her, because she usually does a zipper, and I specially asked her if instead of the zipper, if she would put a handle on it. And because I have a what's called a pegboard in the cupboard here, and I can hang all of my project bags so they aren't flopping all over the place. I hang them on the pegboard. And then she's put a dome closure here, a snap closure, which is pretty tough to close. There we go. So that's thank you in every language and every color going. A really nice project bag. In fact, I ordered two, one for myself and one for a giveaway, because I didn't want the yellow one. You're getting the bigger one. Mine is a smaller one. So quite nice. And you can rest assured it's going to come in a mailer envelope, because I'm trying to do the least expensive mailing possible, but it will have some goodies in the bag. You can count on it, but I don't know what goodies yet until I put the thing together. So in order to win, what do you have to do? Well, you have to make a comment in the box, in the comments section below. And I've been putting all the rules. Apparently you have to post rules. I put them in the description box below the video. So what do you have to say in the comment bag? I think I'm tired and I need to stop. I think because what I see on this is thank you all over in many different languages. Grazie. I don't see French on here. I'll have to go looking for that. But anyway, I see lots of thank yous. So how about if you put thank you in the description box or in the comments below? And if you're not interested, that's fine. You can still make a comment and not put the word thank you, because I really do enjoy hearing your comments. Now, next week, I think we have a very special program in that I have contacted another crochet designer, and her name is Karen Hooley. So next week, I'm going to focus on Karen's designs in crochet, and I actually have, I think, 3 of her designs completed. I just completed 2 of them in this past week. So I'll have some finished objects to show you finally next week, along with giving you information on the background of Karen's designs. I just discovered her last spring, so I haven't made too many yet, but I do like some of her designs and I thought I would show you them. So that's what we're going to do next week. We will draw for the winner, of course, of this project bag, and I'll have some finished objects to show you. So I hope you'll come back and join us next week when we talk about Karen Hooley. And until then, happy crocheting.